Shapes here, and today I will be answering a few questions that may be on your mind, such as how does his HP drain mechanic work, should you pull his Lightcone, which set will be more suitable for Blade, is he going to synergize with the characters you have and upcoming characters you might pull for, and are the time and resources you invest into him going to be worth it? Firstly, let's talk about the mechanics behind his HP drain. His skill consumes a percentage of his HP to toggle Hellscape, which enhances basic attack damage and changes it from a single enemy attack to an area of effect attack, dealing damage to multiple enemies. In the closed beta, if his HP was below a certain percentage, let's say around 30, then it drops it to 1. This has big implications because the lesser HP he has, the more damage his ultimate deals, but more on that later. Now let's talk about his talent. When Blade's HP decreases, his talent is triggered and he gains a charge. When his charges are fully stacked, he performs a follow-up attack on all enemies and restores a certain amount of his HP. Blade's ultimate sets his HP to 50% of his max HP and deals massive damage to a single target and enemies adjacent to it, meaning enemies to the left and right of the target. Also, the damage increases based on the amount of HP he loses. This means that his ultimate will have the maximum damage when his HP is at 1. Here are some things worth noting. The amount of damage his ultimate deals corresponds to the amount of HP he loses, therefore by technicality it depends on Blade's HP pool. Stats such as HP percent, crit rate and crit damage have more value than attack percent. As per the closed beta, his skill does not regenerate energy and also does not take a turn, so after using his skill, you can use an enhanced auto attack immediately right after. The most optimal sequence is using his skill directly into his ultimate followed by an enhanced auto attack. Now we are going to talk about Blade's signature Lightcone. Blade's Lightcone increases the wearer's crit rate and max HP by 18%. After the wearer is attacked or consumes their own HP, it increases the wearer's damage by 24%. However, this effect is dispelled after Blade uses an attack. This is going to be Blade's best in slot weapon because of the crit rate and HP percent. It will allow him to run an HP percent or perhaps even a crit damage body instead of crit rate. The body piece will differ from player to player and it may be worth experimenting which stat will yield more damage. Arlan consumes his own HP and Clara depends on taunts in order to get damage in her revenge playstyle. Therefore, the other destruction characters will be able to make use of this Lightcone as well. Even though they may not scale on HP percent, it will however increase their overall survivability. This Lightcone has the potential to become one of the most universal Lightcone in terms of the number of destruction characters it can be used on. The 18% crit rate and the 24% damage is just too good in general. A secret vow is going to be Blade's best in slot 4-star Lightcone. For those who are not going to be pulling for his signature weapon, it increases damage dealt by the wearer by 20% and the wearer also deals an extra 20% damage to enemies with HP percent equal or higher than the wearer. Blade can easily trigger this weapon's passive with either his ultimate or skill because his ultimate reduces his HP to half of his max HP and his skill also consumes a certain percentage of his HP. Blade being a destruction character also means he will have a higher taunt value and enemies are more prone to hit him. Also, with more copies, this Lightcone is going to be even better with higher superimpositions. Now let's move on to his relics. The Eagle of Twilight Line is going to be a possible set for him. It increases the wind damage by 10% and the 4-piece bonus effect advances the user's action by 25% after using their ultimate. However, if you currently do not have the set, then it might be better to hold off farming until the new sets are released and tested. The new Relic set, Longevous Disciple, may be the better option for him. Its 2-piece effect increases max HP, and with the 4-piece set, when the wearer is hit or the HP is consumed by an ally or themselves, their crit rate increases. This effect is stackable. Blade's ultimate scales on how much HP he loses prior to using it. This set increases his HP pool, therefore increasing his survivability. His skill also consumes a certain percentage of his HP, and hence having more HP means his skill will consume more HP, resulting in more damage. The main stat to look for in terms of his body piece is going to be HP percent or crit damage if you have his signature Lightcone. If you do not have his signature Lightcone, crit rate will be preferable. For his boots, HP percent will be a good option. In terms of Planar Ornaments, Inert Salsotto is an option for Blade if you do not want to farm for the new set. Rutilant Arena is going to be another option. It increases crit rate, and if the wearer's crit exceeds a certain value, which may be 50% like Salsotto, it increases the auto attack and skill damage. For me personally, it seems like Salsotto is the better option due to the increased damage to the ultimate. However, both sets have to be tested before we can conclude which is the better option. In case of his sphere, wind damage boost may be preferred over an HP percent one. For his rope, again go for HP percent. In case of substats, you will want to get either crit rate or crit damage. Now let's move on to team compositions. One of Blade's optimal team compositions will consist of Blade, a Harmony, Hunt, and Abundance unit. The team composition I am thinking of running with Blade comprises of Yanqing, Bailu, and Tingyun. You can however replace him with the characters you have such as Natasha, Sushang, Danheng, Asta, and Yukong. Tingyun's skill will be useful for Yanqing, and her ult can be used for both Yanqing and Blade since it increases the damage for 2 turns and it is not specific to just attack scaling characters. Tingyun may be substituted with Yukong, however, speed tuning must be done such that Yukong has the highest speed. In this case, due to his base speed of 109, Yanqing will be second in turn order followed by Natasha and Blade. It may be necessary to optimize Blade's speed in such a way that he goes before Natasha. This is because Blade will need to use his skill prior to his ult to maximize his damage. For those who do not like speed tuning, replacing a Harmony character with a Nihility character such as Bela may prove to be quite useful. In this case, both Yanqing and Blade will be able to make use of the debuffs on the enemies. We are now going to talk about Blade's pull value. Firstly, we are going to have to invest into the new Relics set, Longevous Disciple, in order to maximize its overall damage potential. This set is more specifically geared towards HP scaling characters belonging to the destruction part, such as those who consume their own HP or taunt in order to get hit by enemies. What this means is that this set is less versatile and less likely to be used on characters of different parts. Apart from his own signature Lightcone, the only other viable option are a Secret Vow and the 3-star Lightcone, Mutual Demise. The other destruction Lightcones are more centered towards increasing attack, and unfortunately, Blade's damage scales on HP percent. Blade's skill and technique also has the potential to reduce his HP to 1, making it very much a possibility to get one-shot by an enemy. Whilst I am not saying he is the most complex character, attention has to be paid while using his skill and technique in order to prevent knockouts. Another thing to note is that the passive of Luocha's skill may be quite annoying because it will automatically trigger on Blade's ultimate. This reduces Luocha's viability just because of that one passive. I hope this video has helped you in your decision to either pull or skip Blade. Subscribe for more content, and I will see you in the next one.